Something was clearly wrong with Jin that day, but what happened next caught everyone off guard. As the heavy rain poured down in Toronto, Jungkook's expression suddenly changed. He looked genuinely worried, but why? And what did he notice about Jin that made the moment so emotional? Stay until the end, because his reaction says more than words ever could. The atmosphere in Toronto quickly became intense as heavy rain covered the scene. Jin was already looking unwell, and the difficult conditions only made the moment feel more concerning. But what caught ARMY's attention wasn't just the rain or Jin's condition, it was Jungkook's reaction. The moment he realized something wasn't right, his expression seemed to change completely. And this was only the beginning of a moment that would leave fans watching closely until the very end. As the rain continued to fall, the situation became harder to ignore. Jin appeared to be pushing through the difficult conditions, but there was a noticeable change in the atmosphere around him. Instead of simply enjoying the moment, fans began paying closer attention to every movement and expression. And then there was Jungkook. His reaction became one of the biggest points of attention. He seemed increasingly focused on Jin, as if something about the situation had caught him off guard. For ARMY, it was the kind of quiet reaction that can say more than words. But there was still one question left unanswered. What exactly made Jungkook look so concerned? The answer becomes even more interesting when you notice what happened moments later. The first detail that really caught ARMY's attention was Jin's condition. Under the heavy Toronto rain, he appeared to be struggling to stay comfortable, making the situation feel much more serious than an ordinary rainy moment. What made it even more emotional was the way Jungkook seemed to notice him. Rather than simply focusing on everything happening around them, his attention appeared to shift toward Jin. That small change in expression was enough for fans to start wondering what he had seen. Jin's effort to keep going made the moment even more touching. Even when someone tries to hide that they are not feeling their best, the people closest to them can sometimes notice the smallest signs. And Jungkook seemed to be watching those signs very carefully. But there was another detail that fans noticed shortly afterward, and it made Jungkook's reaction feel even more meaningful. But then, something else began to stand out. It wasn't only Jin's condition that made fans concerned. And that small detail is what made ARMY look back at the footage more carefully. Was Jungkook reacting only because of the rain? Or had he noticed something about Jin that wasn't immediately obvious to everyone else? The answer isn't revealed all at once. It's hidden in the small moments, the glance, the expression, and the way the atmosphere suddenly changed. And just when it seemed like the moment was over, another reaction made fans question what was really happening behind the scenes. And this is where the moment became even more emotional. As the situation continued, Jungkook's concern became harder to manage. Jin appeared to be trying to stay composed despite the difficult weather and the way he was feeling. But seeing someone you care about struggling can change everything in an instant. Jungkook's expression seemed to reflect exactly that kind of concern. Then came the second moment that caught ARMY's attention. Instead of simply moving on and ignoring what was happening, Jungkook appeared to remain aware of Jin. It was subtle, but that subtlety made the scene feel even more genuine. There was no dramatic announcement, no big gesture, and no need for words. Just a quiet reaction that fans immediately noticed. And perhaps that is what made the moment so touching. Sometimes, the strongest signs of concern are the smallest ones. A quick glance, a sudden change in expression, staying aware of someone even when everything else is happening around you. For ARMY, those details turned an ordinary rainy moment into something much more emotional. But there was still one question hanging over the entire scene. If Jungkook was already this concerned, what happened immediately afterward? And this brings us back to the moment that first caught everyone's attention. At first, Jungkook's reaction might have looked like nothing more than a quick glance. But when you connect it with everything that had happened before, the moment feels completely different. Jin was already dealing with difficult conditions, the rain was getting heavier, and his appearance made fans wonder whether he was really feeling okay. That is why Jungkook's reaction became so emotional for ARMY. It wasn't necessarily about one dramatic gesture. It was about the pattern. Jungkook seemed to remain aware of Jin even while everything around them continued. That quiet attention made fans look beyond the obvious scene and focus on the bond between the two members. And perhaps the most touching part is that Jin still appeared determined to keep going. Even when someone isn't feeling their best, they may try to stay strong for everyone around them. But sometimes the people closest to them notice before they say anything. That is what made Jungkook's reaction stand out. The rain may have been the biggest thing happening around them, but for Jungkook, Jin seemed to become the thing that mattered most in that moment. And just when fans thought they had understood the situation, the final moments revealed why this interaction was so difficult to forget. In the end, the Toronto rain may have created the atmosphere, but it was Jungkook's reaction to Jin that truly stayed with ARMY. Whether Jungkook was simply checking on him or quietly recognizing that Jin wasn't having his usual moment, the interaction felt incredibly human. Jin didn't need to explain everything. Jungkook didn't need to say everything. Sometimes one look is enough to show that someone noticed. And that may be exactly why this rainy Toronto moment broke so many ARMY hearts. Purple heart loudly crying face. Because when everyone else sees a moment, sometimes the person closest to you sees what everyone else misses.